Hi, this is Kirk from Divine Collective, and this is one of my first videos. I did one before and thought I was going to say a bunch of profound things, and then I didn't like how it sounded, so I deleted it. But think I'm going to do a little bit more of this at the beginning I'm not a seasoned person like a lot of the spiritual people on here. So I'm just going to share a couple little cool things that happened as far as, validation for all the meditation and asking for guidance that I've been getting. Things have been really great for the past 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that. A lot of huge shift just went on, and so I've been awake like pretty much most of my life or all my life, but there were a lot of things that came into place that I kind of put into place, I guess, as a higher soul spirit and aligned it so I kept humble and had to deal with a lot of darkness and trauma, but also always studying ancient religion and working with energy at a young age. I started doing Reiki in my early, like 21 or 22. But I was a writer before that. The energy would come out of my hands and I would write things that sometimes I didn't remember or I remember, but I don't know where it came from. So stuff like that. But I did have a lot of downfalls and even up to recently. So this year has been getting to be my year. When I finally am coming into my power. So if you've had a struggle and had a long time to get here, don't be sad. I mean, I was born in 1970, so I am just now getting to that point. Even though I've been awake and doing energy work most of my life and body work, massage, and all that, I still had times where I fell and crashed and got into alcohol and stuff for depression and then I get back up and do my energy work. Even did energy work sometimes when I was really depressed. And, it's just back and forth. But now I feel released from all the past. Even worked on an issue when I moved up here a few years ago, about 4 or 5 years ago, to be near family. My parents have a pretty, nice house, so I have an extra room where I stay in, and I've just felt good here, and they like me here, and saves me money and allows me processing and it's been good for all of us. And my mom and I used to clash though. And the other day, when they were talking about releasing things right before Lionsgate, a couple days before, we got in a huge fight. My stepdad's visiting family, and a bunch of stuff came up and just blew up because all these energies coming in to shift us and force us to look at our issues. And it's been kind of, we get along most of the time, but then we don't deal with it, so it came up. This time we were able to deal with it after the big clash. It kind of took a while to settle down. But the next day, everything got better. The energy lifted, and we just had a heart-to-heart talk. And ever since then, it's been, great. And it was perfect because it was right before we had to do the main meditation for August 8th. So that was brilliant timing for those Brits out there. Brilliant. Um, but the couple things that I noticed, Daniel Scranton is great. He does channeling. Everybody channels, but I don't channel like that. That's why I love to watch him because it's not going to be my thing. I'm more going to stay more in the grounded and things that I pick up and share that with you. But he channels the Arcturians, the creators, different beings, and they always have a nice message, and it usually is valid. And if you're ever on YouTube and you see Daniel Scranton, you'll be led to him eventually if it's not in your energy thing right now. There's also a dragon energy person, Jack Morrigan, and these are just people that I've gained some things from, and galactic astrology, but there are a lot of practitioners of that. I'd like to get into that. I really studied a lot of it just from videos, and I think I have a really good grasp on it, but there are things that you have to enroll in the classes to get something more detailed and to get a certification, which I'd like to do. It tells you where your soul came from, your galactic roots, and why you might be dealing with some of that here if you're a star seed. We are all star seeds, but yes, there are souls that chose to be born just to be an earth soul. Doesn't mean after they're done here they won't go somewhere else. Just they wanted to like learn from this very low density. I just happen to come from a different universe and I love this universe. I don't remember the prior one yet, not in this physical form. There are a few things I remember, but looking at my chart, I do resonate with some of the things that I'm associated with in my chart, which I'm not going to get into, but if you want to look up galactic astrology, and then you can look up, if you see it on your chart, they have a free chart on galacticastro.com, and you can do a free chart. It's good to do your natal first. I know you'll get into it and see that if you do the sidereal Lahina or Lahini, that one can tell you more about your ancient soul roots. However, it's good to do the natal chart right now because that talks about your existence here and now, your recent connections with certain galactic um, celestial stars that you, planets that are near there. They always talk about the stars, but there are planets that are related to them, and you can look up on the star seeds on YouTube and say, well, says I was really conjunct or opposite of Hyades or Orion, and you can go look those up and see what the energies are and what their mission might be here if you're interested in that kind of thing. But just to get back to it, it was a really cool connection that happened after Daniel's 888 meditation yesterday. Then we had a satsang group where we talked about synchronicity of numbers showing up in your life. And I'm sure a lot of you have had like 333 or 1111. And like he said, you're welcome to go look it up online, but sometimes it's just powerful things that you notice at certain times in your life, and it keeps coming up when you have that same feeling or emotion or connected to that first time you saw it, whatever was happening that was powerful at the time that helped you to recognize it. And he mentioned, and you could try this, it's just a quick exercise. I was asking if all my meditation, and I started during his healing for the 8-8, I had to get up. I couldn't sit and meditate, which I've been doing a lot, but then I forgot there's a movement part to things too. So my guides and spirit told me, get up out of the chair, keep listening. And so I started stretching, and then I got one of the exercise balls and ended up just letting my arms stretch. I haven't stretched in such a long time, very much. And I've gone on walks and everything, and I keep forgetting to stretch. Well, the healing just blasted into me because I've been having a lot of huge downloads and information coming from my higher self and my guides and angels and all that, but and feeling it rush through my body, yet I keep being told, get back into the earth part of it. You are here to experience. I didn't just come down here to heal and be some, none of us came down here just to be some big guru to heal people. You can only offer them healing just like your guides will stay away until you ask for help. And then again, they're going to give you help, but it may show up in a way like slap you in the face and say, you need to look at this before you can move forward. And then we're here to support and give you the energy to not let you go too far down the hill with it. But um, I don't remember where I was. Anyway, too much information is flooding through. But it's been cool, but I realized that physical part, and that really, I kept thinking about it, but I've been going on walks, sitting at the beach, meditating, and that wasn't enough. So when I got up and started stretching on the floor, things started moving more. And then when I laid on the ball and put my arms back and let them stretch for a while and kept taking deep breaths and listening to his, codes coming through, don't even have to always listen because the words are light language. They don't translate. They're just his higher being or other beings that are working through and using sometimes their codes or light language, his light language. But anyway, I felt everything flood into my chest because all these muscles got released. So your physical's very attached to it. If you feel like a starseed and you think, I hate living here, I just can't wait to go home, I'm sorry, but we did come here. So enjoy it because this is a very heavy density planet. That's why the whole universe or the whole galaxy and a lot of this universe, people beings are interested in what's going on here because a shift like this, this low of a density has not happened like globally with the whole, like all of humanity. That has not happened in a long time. And several of these galactic beings were involved in the seeding of Earth because humans are not just apes. There were extraterrestrials testing and seeding the primates here to develop humans to be like them, and I think we're like them and probably a little more powerful. That's why you've heard of the dark ones trying to keep us down. But the truly light beings are, it's like a parent, you want your child to grow more than you did. And through us growing, even though some of us came here and we are here to help them, we're also growing too. and we help them to grow, and they don't have to come down to the third dimension. So they're always willing to help and give us their energy because we're doing the tough job. We're helping Source, which is God, whatever you want to call it, that's split and fragmented into all of us. So it doesn't matter what dimension you normally live on or before you came here, nobody's above anyone else. And that's important to remember. Humility is always the main thing in spirituality. Remain humble because Christ would tell you he's not above you. He came down here to show people you can be just like him and his energy, just like Buddha. They never saw themselves above anyone. The people that start to preach at you, don't trust them, run away. If they're preaching at you, telling you how to live and telling you how you should do things, just run or turn off their videos. If it doesn't resonate, don't listen. And that doesn't mean they're evil or bad, but people that do want that kind of thing are at a different level, and that's not a bad thing. People want to progress, and their higher soul, higher spirit told them and set up their life through, not you can test through astrology, but set them up so they can get what they needed this lifetime. Some may stay behind with the solar energies that are giving us ascension rays to move us forward. Those are star seeds, and actually doing the work are going to shift faster and less with less complication. Like that thing with my mom was one of the biggest things. That's it. The rest, it's been just shedding and moving into a different space and things lining up. Everywhere I look, I'm getting validation. I'll ask my guides something and I hear it in my head, not like other people. They speak to me through my head or my body or things around me, but I don't get the, what is it, clairvoyance. I don't always see things. It's a different way for me. A lot of people say, well, if it's voices in your head, you're hearing it wrong. Well, they're not booming voices. They're quiet, and sometimes they're different voices. And I say, is this real? And then I go online later, or something in my life shows up with exactly what we were working on or talking about, and boom, it's right there in my face and it's validated. If it's not validated, I go in again and say, well, okay. But it usually does within a day or even faster right away. So with Daniel, when we did this thing, he said to do the numbers and just ask a question or talk to your higher spirit. And I said, am I going on the right path? And I said, if I am, I want to see a 222 and an eagle. And I thought, wow, that's asking for a lot. Maybe just the number or just the animal would be fine. But for some reason, I just decided to say both. And that's definitely validation. But hours went by, I saw nothing. I tried to make up things and say, well, there's a bird, there's two of them. And yeah, so I let it go and just kept doing my day. Uh, Made dinner, did all that, and came back up and watched a video and saw this little box in the corner of Kamala's VP, and it was just some kind of negative political video, which I didn't want to watch. But I kind of looked at it for a second, and then I just breezed off of it. And then I went to one of Daniel's videos, and I looked back during the video, and all of a sudden there it was. It was the same stupid political video with the VP's face, but behind him was an eagle on a flag, on the American flag. And below it was the time of the video. The length of it was 22.21, but that's still 222 and an eagle, both in the same thing. And when I wasn't looking for it, it was there. Even the first time, I just ignored it. So it's important to be open, but don't search. And so if you want to try that though, try it and just let it go. And when it comes, you'll be amazed. So any question though, am I doing this? Should I take this job? Just as long as you're tuning to your highest and best self and asking beings of light, your higher self and your spirit guides that have it for your best good and the best good of all, then it's a fun thing to do. Don't I wouldn't like, well, you can press and do whatever you want. You'll find out. It doesn't matter. I'm sorry, I shouldn't even be putting any kind of, there is nothing. Everything you do is correct, and that's the whole point. Even the bad things that you've done in your life, you got a lesson from it, or things that are bad that you got into or happened to you. These are all for growth. And if I told you all the things that happened in my life, you would go, wow, either it was not bad enough for you, and maybe you've been through worse. But a lot of people I've talked to about things, they just seem to think like, feel sorry for me or whatever, and I don't, because there are some of us that are on a big mission, and we have not had a lot of, we may have come down here, but as enlightened beings and haven't forgotten everything this lifetime. And I don't know if there have been more, but this lifetime I really chose because it's the last time on this planet that it's going to happen in a long time. This ascension of everybody, most of the people at least, moving up, and the whole energy of the planet. Because Mother Earth is a being as well. Different consciousness, but we are a universe. If you think of our cells in our body, they're all alive. And to us, we're a universe. The larger things like your organs are probably like either galaxies or super galaxies. But you have it in your body, so we're like that with our solar system. We're little cells. And if you look at the pictures of what they think the universe looks like and the spaces in between, it looks like a brain. There's just webs everywhere, and the way it's structured, it looks like nerve synapses in the brain. Anyway, let's get off track, make this a shorter video. Just try that fun little trick. Another thing I was doing today is kind of look at my galactic chart and, thinking, well, how do I present this to the world? And I was told through videos. And I don't know if anyone's ever going to watch it, but I'm following source, and that's how it works. You just trust. When you get that inspiration, you look for validation and you trust. A lot of my validation lately has been coming through many different videos, but a lot through Daniel Scranton. I would check out his work. And also, a lot of people I enjoy. You're welcome to check them out under my subscriptions if I think they should be available. But anyway, look for yourself and just know that anything you're drawn to is because that's what you need. Everybody's different and everybody grows through different things. We all have different stars aligned at our birth, and those decide how we want to grow. So nothing I say is set in stone. That's why I'm trying to give you generalities and things that you can do to validate what you're getting and what you think you're hearing or what you think your guidance is. Those are ways to validate. Love you all. You're all amazing beings, even the ones that are earth souls that may not even be drawn to starseed or spiritual videos in the first place. But with all these energies coming in, everybody's being lifted up. And if you see family around you, the last thing I want to say is people you think are not awake or not even open to spiritual, you might see them getting aggravated or things coming up with their relationships, with work, that might seem scary, but just breathe and send them love, but back off. And, be there to support, but don't buy into the drama. Don't get into it. Just support, but hold yourself out of the drama and check your own emotions. If you get into fear or anger, that's not a good place for moving forward, but it's going to happen. It happens to me too. It might be brief. It gets more brief the more I focus and be mindful of it. Nobody's perfect. I don't care if it's even the highest ascended soul. If you're coming into a human body, you've got the human ego and everything else. So we all have those moments, but they get fewer, and most of the time they come up just to make you look at it. So they're actually a good thing. But with others, you don't know. You might think that they're not awake or waking up, but a lot of times they are, and eventually they'll surprise you. So don't push anyone on their journey. Just offer support. And if they're not ready for information, don't share it. They know, just hold the light and send love to them and just leave it. And you'll be surprised. People have come to me asking things that I thought they never would. These are different times, but enjoy it. Keep grounded. If you don't ground the energy, it's just going to float off you. If you want to live in space, then that's kind of defeats the purpose of being here to help this earth and help the people to ascend. So stay grounded, stay happy. If you do have those moments, just use them as a tool and a guide. What do I do next? Well, I just got pissed off for no reason and threw something across to the wall, and I don't know, whatever. Just getting angry, calling somebody a bitch or whatever. And just look at that and say, why am I doing that? A lot of times it's a reflection of something that we need to let go. Okay? Well, lots of love and light, and I hope some people get something from this video. That's why I'm just kind of just going to share little things here and there. And oh, another one, quick. I saw a beetle after I was talking about humility to myself, and it was a green beetle. They call them fig eaters, and I came up and looked at the meaning. It does say they're tenacious, they have courage, they always pick themselves up when they fall back down, and they're humble. So it's always about being humble in spirituality. That means not going out and telling everybody to the world. It's about embodying what you learn, not thinking that makes you some kind of expert to tell everybody how to live. and that you're better or superior. Just remaining humble, sharing your experiences. I mean, it sounds like AA, which I couldn't stand after a while. I did go there to try to, stop drinking because I wasn't getting to the root of my stuff, and it got depressing, so I stopped. But sometimes hearing people's experiences makes you feel less alone. This is a different type of format, though. This is a place where they're positive experiences and they're empowering. So AA, I can tell you, is not empowering at all. It's to keep you locked into the system and feel like you're always powerless. And we all have an immense amount of power. But love yourself, love your neighbors, and be patient with them and yourself. Take care. Love. This is the Vine Collection, and that means all of us. The collection of humanity, the collection of all your celestial and angelic brothers and sisters. Take care. Till next time.